front of you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I'm gonna go live.
Let's
In
go.
Five,
All right.
4, 3.
Right away, he said it. Yeah. You had no clue that was coming on, did you? But you just got into it right away. I like it.
I gave him a heads up. He knew he was going to be doing a little
Oh,
dancing.
okay.
I even gave him the beat, too.
I was like,
so
wow,
he
this
knew.
guy knew.
Welcome, everybody. Podcast number 64. We got a special guest today, Kito Poblah, my man. I've known him actually for a long time. RJ reached out to him via his social media. This guy's lit on social media, 28,000 followers, man. That's even got a blue check mark by his name.
Yeah.
Are you famous? Should I get your
No.
signature and sell
Yeah.
it on eBay?
Nah.
You bring a jersey or something?
You'll be right now.
What are you famous for now? Because you're
Uh,
you're a former football player, but what is
yeah.
it that's drawing all that attraction?
You know what? To be honest, like I said, I kind of learned
talk a
the
little
social
closer.
media. I kind of
Yeah.
learned the social media game. So,
Yeah.
when I first started, I honestly only had like maybe 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
So I've learned the digital marketing game, and I've been growing it there. So it's not really because I was a special CFL player, because that didn't really go that well. So just keep it real.
Did you start? Did you
Yeah,
start for the Bombers?
I
Oh,
did
that's
start. I
good.
did start.
Okay.
Hey, listen, guys, before we get started, let's talk about our podcast sponsor. ADR Properties, they provide an enjoyable and hassle-free experience when building your custom dream home. As members of the Home Builders Association, they strive to hit the highest standards in construction, and their design team is inspiring and very talented. So before you make the biggest decision of your life, contact Anita Sharma at 204-989-9000 or email info@ADR Properties. And since I have everybody's attention, why don't I introduce the man sitting over to my left right over here.
Here we go.
He's been a high-level athlete from high school, college, and all the way through to the CFL. These days, his passion is mentoring youth and helping them become better versions of themselves through fitness and sport. He has a master's degree in business, finance, and marketing and rallies those skills to develop sustainable programs that will make an impact on youth sports all across Canada. This man is bilingual in both French and English, and like most men, he absolutely loves his wife and his mother's cooking. Let's welcome to the show, KITOKO, a.k.a. Kito Poblah.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, how about that?
Yo.
You ever got an intro like that before?
No, that was
Good.
pretty cool.
$10. Nothing's free, buddy. $10. I'll even record it for you so you can put it on your social media if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah,
Moving
yeah.
forward, all your videos will be that.
With the classic Rick voice.
Did you know that guy in the UFC who does the announcing what's that
Uh,
guy's name?
Let's get
Yeah,
ready.
Yeah,
Bruce
not that
Buffer.
guy, Bruce Buffer.
Yeah,
So
Bruce,
he'll
yeah.
do an intro for you
Oh,
for
yeah.
like $200 or $400 or something. Anything.
Wow.
I was thinking we should do that for coaching.
Yeah,
Just
we
like
should.
before we roll out here with our
Nice.
microphone on, just get him to do this
Oh,
big
it's
intro.
funny that you say that because somebody's like, yeah, Wisnock, the wizard.
Yeah.
So that's one of our coaches,
Cool.
right? And he was a performance guy. He's
Yeah.
into fitness. So
Yeah.
he does like concerts and stuff.
Okay.
He's a stage performer. And they said, yeah, he has a walkout song.
Really?
And I said, this guy has a walkout
That's
song.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, hey, how can I always
Kind of killer, man.
I know I need
You
a
know?
walkout song. Yeah, I need a walkout
A
song.
good intro makes everything. It gets
Real
people
does,
amped up.
it
You know what I
does.
mean?
We need to get
Yeah.
that done.
Yeah.
We need to do that for sure.
So, anyways, let's. I got a few things that I want to ask this guy. Anybody? You're, I think, our fourth guest that's been a CFL player.
Cool.
Can you give us a little rundown as to when you played in the CFL and which teams you're on?
Yeah, so I played in 2011 till 2015, and I played 2011, no, 3 years with the Bombers and a year and a half with the BC Lions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you American? Did you come from the
No,
States?
no, I was born in Montreal, raised
Okay.
in South Florida.
And,
So can
and
you
but
speak French?
Yeah.
speak
You can speak
Francais.
French?
Yeah, je parle français.
Ah,
Nice, man.
maybe.
I wish I could
Oui,
speak
oui,
another
oui.
language. You know, it's
You
one
can.
of the,
It's bad English.
it's North Side
Yeah.
lingo, man. North Side lingo.
Slang.
Been there for 20 years. I don't even know if I can reverse that. And did you? I thought I read that you played maybe college ball in the U.S. Though. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
yeah. I
Okay.
played at Central Michigan University.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're still a young man. You must have been playing when you were just a wee lad, huh?
Yeah, I was.
Right out of high school, maybe.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. Awesome. So you built this business now. You're actually a customer of mine. That's how we know each other. But you
Mhm.
guys connected via social media.
Mm-hmm.
Finished first football. I know you said that kind of transitioned into something. Can you explain that to everybody? What it is that you're doing?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when we started Finish First Football, actually about 2011 when I first got here, it started as a training program. We had about like 5 kids. We started it, actually, it was a dissertation through my master's at the time. And so it was just a practice. And then the kids said, let's continue to go. And The next year we had 30 kids, and then the
Mm.
program just kept on growing
Hmm.
to the point that we started our own travel football team
Nice.
called the Manitoba Selects. A few years later, called the Manitoba Selects, and we basically trained them for about 4 months. Myself and other few current and former pros do that for 4 months during the winter time, and then we take them down to San Antonio, Texas, every February to play international competition
Mm.
versus teams from California, Texas, Florida, everywhere. And
Cool.
so, yeah, man, that's what we've been doing basically for the past like 4 or 5 years, to the point that now, actually before post pandemic, we were
Okay.
supposed to open up our own club in LaSalle.
Oh,
We had a whole bunch of equipment and everything like that. We're gonna basically kind of have our first, like, Canada's first international football team, youth football team that goes
Really?
back and forth and have teams come up here. But obviously things have switched up, and
Yeah.
so yeah,
so
now
what
it's
is the
just
plan then?
yeah.
Can
So
we ask? Can we talk about
yeah,
football?
you know what?
All right.
Yeah. So, like, are we just talking about the selects in
Your
general, or
program first, and then we'll
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
football.
So with the program now, we've just basically are on hold right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, with this whole entire situation, we're not even sure if there's gonna be a football season on all levels. I know
Mhm.
the CIS has already canceled their season,
Wow.
and we're assuming that everything else is gonna follow suit. I'm not sure how the CFL is going to come about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, if
So
that NFL's still in
yeah,
question, I mean, they're the
100%.
top dogs, right?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Well, I
So
heard the Jets are playing soon against Calgary Flames, right?
I don't
Are
know
we
how
doing it
that.
with no fans? Is
Yeah,
that how
how
this is
no
going down?
fans for sure, but I don't know how that's gonna work. Like, how do you play a contact sport with no contact? Even touch football. Like
Mhm.
you play. That's how I kind of
Yeah.
knew you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. This guy was on one of our like the other rosters, and I see his name. I've never seen, and then I seen him one time play, and I was like, wow, this guy is fast and big. And I don't get scared often, right? And I'm like, this guy's legit, man. And every time we went to play poke,
Yeah,
right?
Pokai. It was
So I was
Pokai.
part of the dogs. Is that
Yeah.
you were never there, and I was like,
Yeah.
just because they would make me cover you,
Was
and
he
I'm like, I don't.
was he this big, or was he what you're seeing on TV big right now? His extra 30 pounds,
He was
the
fast, and that's
giant.
when if you're fast and athletic, that's all you need for
Yeah.
touch
Oh
football,
man,
man. The
yeah.
size doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had those two
And
key
you know
elements.
what's funny? That I do remember you from there, man. You're a baller yourself
Yeah.
too, man. You're actually really good. I do remember you there,
Thank you,
man. You
thank you.
did.
You know what? Youth football has come a long way. So
Mhm.
I've been training since 2004.
Mhm.
That's when I kind of started my business. 2005, I started training hockey players. Exactly like you. I
Nice.
started with four guys
Mhm.
training out of shapes. So
Nice.
big box gym,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We would take the whole strip and I'd have these guys running
Mhm.
on like it was laminate flooring. Dude, if there was a little bit of sweat, a little bit of
Yeah.
water,
Oh
my
It
yeah.
guys
was
were doing
greasy.
sprints and just
Yeah.
Good way to pull a groin right there.
well, it's a good thing they're all like
100%.
14,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
They just, guy goes crashing
Yeah.
into a machine, not a big deal. But I'll tell you what, if I was probably training football players like how you guys, I love football.
Mhm.
Basketball, football, my top two sports. Hockey was just placed on my lap just because I
Mhm.
love training.
Mhm.
But I didn't like the cold. I still don't like the cold. I'm hoping my son doesn't get into hockey. I
Mhm.
love hockey for the community, the culture, the
Mhm.
drive.
100%.
But now football is like up there. Like they got these guys with like that stuff didn't exist back in the day.
Mhm.
You know, go
Yeah.
back 2005,
Yeah, it's true,
2006.
man.
I had maybe two football players that would actually their parents
Yeah,
would spend money.
it's true.
And now people are actually like
Yeah.
striving to become
Yeah,
the next thing for football,
100%.
and that doesn't exist
100%.
here. You know that. How
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
hockey?
it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Big time. Yeah.
Hockey, maybe
100%.
basketball, a little bit of volleyball, but
Yeah,
very little.
facts.
Football was very low at the podium.
Mhm.
So
100%.
if I think if football was still as big as it is now for the youth, I'd probably still be in that industry.
Cool.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like training youth
Yeah,
sports
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So congratulations to you, man.
Thanks, man. I
It's a
appreciate
big
that.
movement.
So what you're doing, so just to clarify, so I'm not a big football guy. So something like the Nomads, okay? So
Mhm.
that's a North End football
Yep.
team. So you're a level up of that. So somebody might want to take their kid to another level. They're gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we're basically AAA football. It's the only AAA football program in the province. And basically we take the best players from the Nomads, St. Vital Mustangs, and
High
Mm.
school too.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And we basically create an all-star team that's 14 and under, because the provincial teams are 16 and up, 16 U16, U18. So we've taken the 14s all the way down to 10s
Mhm.
and made our own provincial teams. We don't play. We play teams from Canada, but We specify on going down to the states and getting them actual competition because that's where football is played. So
Big
Yeah.
time.
we want our kids to be ready
Yeah.
to be able to get to CIS and hopefully get them enough confidence and courage that if they realize that they can go down there and compete at a very young age, it changes their whole entire mindset and scope and how they can actually perceive football in the distance of where they can make it based on their preparation as a younger kid. So that's what we plan on
Yeah.
doing, and that's what we've been doing.
So how do you guys do against the American teams?
To be honest, so our
Yeah.
first year, everybody thought they're gonna whoop our ass.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Oh man, y'all tripping, y'all gonna get y'all asses back, all this, blah, 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 blah," talking crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like I'm Canadian, okay,
Yeah.
but I was raised like an American.
Okay.
So to me, I understood growing up from my own experience that it's not the actual whether you're American or Canadian, it's whether you have the resources or not. Whether you
Okay.
have the proper resources, proper coaching, the proper setup, you're going to be most likely set up for success, right? So
Okay.
a lot of people here when we first came out and did what we were doing didn't understand that okay, if you have those types of things, you'll be successful. So our first year we actually went down, beat a couple teams from Dallas, Texas, which
Nice.
people were very surprised.
Yeah.
The next year, we went into the tournament and got second place. We actually ended up playing a team from Dallas, ended up losing in the championship, but
Oh, nice.
yeah, it
And
was
they're crazy about football
yeah,
down there.
you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so like for us, like we've been growing our program and actually this past year we went again. Oh my gosh, we keep on losing in the championship. I can't wait until we can win one. But to be honest, our kids are like really doing very well down there.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like it's because of the way we set them up. And our kids don't think like the other kids here in terms of, oh, we're Canadian, therefore we should lose.
Yeah, nice.
We've kind of got them to the point of understanding and trusting in their preparation and in the the layout that we got for them. You know what I'm saying? And so it's been growing and it's actually doing very well.
Yeah, that's good. You think mindset is more important than physical ability?
100%.
Yeah, like in a big way.
It's 1,000%
Yeah.
there.
So what kind of things do you do? So let's say, forget that you're doing anything football. You're not throwing the ball. What are you telling kids? What kind of exercise you make them do to strengthen their mind? Like, how do you build a kid's confidence?
To be honest, I think awareness is key. So before we even start practice, one thing I usually always do to the kids is I go up to them, look them in the eye, and I ask them, "How you doing?" And I actually, what I'm gauging by when I'm asking that question, is if they're present. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If they're present, then at that time I know I can help and teach that kid. That means he has no distractions, nothing. He's here, ready to go.
Mhm.
So I think often, when it comes to mindset, it's just being aware. And once you're aware, then you're able to then navigate your environment and your situations because at that point you know what's going on. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
actually know what's going on. So you're able to learn, you're able to be engaged, you're able to grow.
Yeah.
It's when you're unengaged and you're unaware, then you start creating these weird ass like feelings of insecurity, fear, and all this
Yeah.
other stuff. And it's really just by not being open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
important that, when we talk to these kids, that's really one of my key focuses, looking them in the eye, making sure they're locked in. They're like, I'm ready to go, coach. All right, let's go.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think that plays a role here too. Is
Big
like
time. I got a good story for that.
we do
Yeah.
okay. Well, we
Yeah,
do 30
go ahead.
minutes. We do 30-minute workouts, and
Yeah.
I always say like, this is your 30.
Yeah.
You're here.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else you need to
Right.
be.
Yeah.
So just
Exactly.
give it your all. Forget about what you're thinking
100.
about and just work out. You know what I mean? Just
Exactly.
get to work. Don't worry about
Straight
the
up.
10. What drives me nuts is when somebody's running off and then I see them on their phone. I'm like,
No.
that text can wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it can wait 5 minutes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It waited 90 days
Yeah.
during COVID, so why can't it
Mhm.
wait 5 minutes while you're working out here?
Exactly,
I don't
man.
get it that often though, and when
Yeah.
I do, I isolate it
Yeah, you
and say, hey,
do.
what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Everybody
so
look
great.
over there,
Yeah,
Hey,
right?
exactly.
fine.
Point them right
That's
out, man.
You'll never
important.
do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, exactly. And
Yeah.
it sets the tone and it
yeah,
sets the culture, right? Because
yes,
then
it
at
Yeah,
that
does.
big
point,
time.
everybody else sees it and like, all right, that's not what we do here,
Yeah.
and that's important.
Yeah,
Mm.
no, it's
Mm.
good. Yeah, it's just like Joanne. Joanne, French fries. She's like that. She's kind of every once in a while, I'll lose
Yeah.
her in the clouds, right?
Mm.
We'll be coaching, the music will be going, and I can see everybody's doing something. It takes her 4 seconds, 4 extra seconds to get to the floor, 5 extra seconds to get
Mm.
up, 3 extra seconds to
Yeah.
pick up the weight.
Yeah.
She's behind, I can tell, and she's thinking about something else. And it just got to the point where I was like, I call her French fries. That's
Mhm.
just a nickname I gave her. I'm like, you got to get your head in the game here. Like,
Mhm.
focus on me.
Yes,
Look at me. Be with
exactly.
me.
Lock
So
in.
I'll just sit right beside her
Nice.
and just make sure that she has no point, no
Exactly.
other alternative but to be present to me. And then
Exactly.
she snaps out of it, and then she's
100%.
back into it, right?
Exactly.
Or somebody else will engage. But yeah, you're so
Yeah.
right, man. You got to really get them like just as soon as you leave your car,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just leave your shit in your
Yeah,
car.
Yeah,
man.
Everything
leave
from
it at
your
the
head,
door.
Right.
leave
Leave
it
it
in
at
the
the door.
car. Come here, and then
Yeah.
put it back in your head when you get out of here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes,
Yeah. We should actually get that painted on there.
We should.
Leave it
Leave it right here.
leave it at here.
Yeah.
Leave it here or
Leave
leave
in
it
the
at the door.
cubbies.
I'm getting that done.
Yeah,
Leave it
that's
at
a
the
good
door.
idea.
So when you were playing ball,
That's cool.
did you have anything else going on? Like, well,
N-
you're a dad, right? When you were
yeah, yeah.
playing.
No, no. Actually, that was all after, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So yes,
2011.
yes, yes, I was a dad. Um, but it wasn't until like, when you're in your young 20s, man, it's like,
Let's hear some stories
oh
of a
my God, let's not
professional
do it.
athlete.
Let's not
Come
even
on.
do it.
Or you won't get that cooking. There'll be no food when he gets home.
Exactly
Yeah, Kito's wife, don't watch this.
We'll just block her from our pages.
Yes.
You know what, man?
And she's like, and you just sat there and laughed.
Right.
Right? You just sat there and
Oh,
laughed.
man.
He's already getting in shit, and you can tell she's already in the screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
So what else? So what else did you have going
Oh,
on when you were
that's
playing ball?
funny.
Because there's never just one thing, right? So
No, you know what, man? It was just the programs that we were running during the off season and stuff
okay.
like that. So we kind of just started growing our programs, and to me, the thing about sports was the fact that it's not the end all be all.
Okay.
It was just the avenue, and I mean, the vehicle to help me get to wherever I'm supposed to be going, right?
Mhm.
So to me, I've kind of always just rode the wave, worked my hardest, and just rode the wave at the, trusted the process that in the end I'm gonna hopefully get somewhere close to where I want to be. So, um, yeah. And when I was playing football, it was just to maintain, grow as a person, and basically develop the programs and be ready for post football. Because
Mhm.
the issue is when you get in those checks every week, you get accustomed to spending those checks
Okay.
every
Mhm.
week. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
to be honest, I think the best thing I did when I was leaving football, and I didn't even know I was gonna leave. It was just weird. It was probably more intuition than it was anything. Was I bought my house, and to me, it was like I was just saving, saving, saving. And I bought my house, and I'm really proud to say that because there's guys who've made way more than me and who've had a longer CFL career than I have,
Mhm.
and don't have things to show for it because they
Mhm.
were just spending it as it was coming in.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, I've always been ready for the next chapter, or even just making sure that I was good, in a position that you know I, the wave is the wave.
Mhm.
Don't trust that shit. It don't
It
last
doesn't
long.
last
You
forever.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
enjoy it, but
Yeah.
understand like you're gonna have to
Yeah.
hop off, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
No,
Okay, so we don't have to talk about any specific bachelor details,
Yeah.
but that's a good segment of what you just said. Like, I love talking finances. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm not going to
Okay.
get into it on this one, but when you were in your 20s, what kind of things do you think maybe you should have done differently, or maybe you did everything right? I don't know. Like, what kind of advice
Nah.
would you give to young Kito?
Don't be
Uh,
a dumbass, bruh.
in what way?
I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Yeah.
The first when I first got here, my first check was 10 grand. It was the most money I've ever had in my life.
That's a good check.
That's a
What?
great check
I was
on a weekly
23.
basis.
I was 23. I was like, hell yeah, I'm rich. I'm rich, bitch. Like, I felt hella good.
Nailed that. You nailed that.
Like I felt hella good, man. Like
Uh,
what? Like you couldn't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, that shit was so gone so fast. Like I can't tell you what I did. Like literally after the season, I was in debt, man, on credit cards and everything. Like for real, man. It's
Yeah.
like and they don't tell you that stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
like when I first came out of college, my credit was at $500. When I got into the CFL, they're like, oh damn, this guy has a little bit more money in his bank. Let me call him up. So they call me up, and
Yeah.
I'm like, hello. And they're like, yeah, we see that what are you doing? I told them proudly, I'm like, yeah, I'm playing in the CFL. And then they like, all right, they're like, okay, okay. So then they're like, how much would you like your credit to go up? And I was like,
They gave you that option.
they gave me the damn option. I got 23-year-old, like, what? And I'm like, well, let me go with like 1,000, 2,000. She's like, do you want more? I said, can I go more? She's like, yeah. I was like, 5,000? It's like, more? I was like, 10?
Yeah.
I got up to 15.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, the end of the season,
Yeah.
that 15,000 was all in debt. I
Plus
was
the
just
10K you
yeah,
got.
plus the
Yeah.
10K I got.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for the season to come back. I was like, oh hell no, man! I need this season to come back.
Yeah.
And I realized at that point
Yeah.
how easy it is
Mhm.
when you're making money so fast
Yeah.
to financially put yourself back because as fast as it's coming in, it's
Yeah,
as fast as
fast
you're
as it's
blowing
going
it.
out,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So
I think a lot of people are probably facing that right now. I think
Mhm.
Manitobans are on a rise, right? I
Mhm.
think a lot of people are starting to flourish out of this.
Yeah.
I still feel that there's some people that are kind of still, still waiting for their position to open up again.
Mhm.
But I mean, throughout the world, lots of people are going through financial. Like I do consulting, and
Nice.
a lot of them are considering shutting it down,
Yeah,
man. Like
man.
like I think California just got sanctioned to shut down
Yeah.
again, right? And
Mhm.
most of the gym owners that I'm talking to, like my people just won't come in, or they're just like they're not coming at all. You
100%.
know what I mean? So I think a lot of people are gonna feel that, and
Yeah.
when it comes to the industry, the football industry, I mean, I hope a lot of those guys put some of that
I'm gonna tell
aside.
you right
You know,
now, they
AB,
didn't, man.
like what's AB doing at Antonio
Do you
Yeah.
Brown?
think there's gonna be like an epic down? I mean, you think about these sports guys, just like that, young guys who are making a lot of money, blowing a lot of money, living the lifestyle of a
Yeah.
professional athlete, and now they have no income for
Yeah.
an
None.
extended period of time, not just the off season,
Right.
but another season, maybe
So
two,
this
right?
is the issue. Is already as football athletes, actually professional athletes, the statistic is 75% are either in debt or bankrupt by the time they're done playing. So to be honest, 75% of these CFL,
Yeah.
NFL
Yeah.
athletes are struggling right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. Everybody thinks, yeah, they have a lot of money, but they also have a lot of debt.
Hmm.
So maybe that's the next business we should all start
What? You
right now.
tell me. Let's get on that shit
Right
right
now,
now, dog.
specific to
Man,
hey,
let's
What's
do
that?
that.
just teach guys who are professional athletes making a lot of money
Save
how to
money.
keep money
But
so that
no, but
they.
this is the issue, okay? When they're making a lot of money, you can't tell them nothing.
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
They're
yeah.
like, oh, what are you gonna tell me?
Yeah. Next game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Give me another big gold chain,
Yeah.
another Lambo, another
Exactly.
bottle,
Right.
$500.
Well, I think a lot of
I
people
know.
are gonna have to quickly realize that
Yeah.
life is not going to be back to normal. Like
Yeah.
the
No.
way things were. Even us,
Mhm.
we're completely shifted everything. I
Mhm.
mean, we never had this TV. We never
Yeah.
had this setup. We never had the
It
dark
looks
lights.
beautiful, by the
Yeah,
way.
thank you. But this is here to stay now.
Yes.
Before, we would ram people in here, man. We
Mhm.
would have people lined up here, people on the floor. It was just crazy, right?
Yeah.
16 sessions we used to teach
In a day.
in a day.
Wow.
Now we're
Crazy,
down.
man.
We're 10,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
I feel good with 10.
Yeah.
You know
Sick.
what I mean? And
Sick.
so we've pivoted majorly. So people that are out there that thinking that okay, I'm just gonna sit on this, the Serb check or whatever it is, and
Mhm.
wait for my position to open up again, and
Don't trust that.
rely on that company
Nah.
to bring me
Yeah.
back. I'm good right now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, you need to use this time. If you got the
100%.
time and you're still at home, so there's two recommendations I give to people. Number one, if you got the time, use it,
Mhm.
right? So if you're a pro athlete, start looking at endorsements, start looking at
100%.
speaking gigs, start
Yeah.
looking at being a motivational speaker.
Mhm.
If you're a realtor, how can you now create a network of people
100%.
that you can work with and then eventually teach your skills? And a lot of
Yes.
people have skills that they just don't think that they have, and then you just find one person, just like how
Yeah.
you and I started in the
Yeah.
industry,
Yeah.
right? You had 4
Exactly.
kids. I had 4 kids. If
Exactly.
I didn't have 4 kids, I would not be
Straight
here.
up,
Yeah.
If
man.
I was like, oh, I gotta have 400 kids,
100%, man.
right? The only way I'll do it is if I get 400. No, you
Right.
got to be humble.
Straight up.
Everybody's gonna have to eat that humble pie,
100%.
Mhm.
and they're gonna have to realize that, man, you got to step back. It doesn't
True
matter what the
story,
job
man.
is.
True
Yeah.
story.
You got to
Yeah.
go back to basics.
Yeah, you got it.
And then the other people that are back and flourishing, it's like slow down again.
Yeah.
Like what Rick said, slow down.
Yeah.
That call can wait.
100%.
Put your phone down for 5
Yeah,
minutes.
man.
Work
That's
out.
important.
You
That's
know what I mean?
important,
Go
yeah.
see your kids.
Yeah.
Spend Friday nights with your
Facts.
husband or your wife.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
it's a huge.
it's
like,
only been a couple days for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even been a month.
I'll tell
Yeah.
it to you how it used to be here. Okay, so I'm an evening coach, so I'd run 6 classes.
Yeah.
How it works is you'd have a lineup of people,
Yeah.
right? They'd be in a big circle, coaches in the middle doing a demonstration
Yeah.
and talking. Okay,
Nice.
we had upwards of I don't know 36, 48 people
Something like
per
that.
class.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you get that going, you do all the demonstration, you put everybody into a group, and you run the class.
Yeah.
as you're stretching that class,
Yeah.
the next class is
Dope.
forming an
Circling them.
outside
Dope,
circle.
dope.
So you're doing stretches while you're warming up the next
So
class, while
sick.
you're doing announcements,
Yeah.
right? And then you
Yeah.
finally say, "A fit club on one,"
Yeah.
everybody leaves.
Get out of here.
Then you get it.
Yeah.
So
And then you're
that,
right back on.
you're doing that back to back to
Yeah.
back to back.
Yeah.
It was insanity, man. Like
Yeah.
I think back now and I'm like, how did we do this?
That's awesome.
Now I run 4 classes. We get
Yeah.
a 10-minute break.
Break.
We close the door. Everybody leaves.
6 minute
Take
stretch.
your time,
Yeah, you know, like
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
What I mean, I guess if you have to, you'll rise to the
Yeah,
occasion.
Yeah.
But
100%.
you know, I think back now, I feel so much better as a human. I'm just
Yeah.
more relaxed. Like
Yeah.
I'm smiling
Yeah.
again. You know,
Well,
like,
here's
I
a
feel
good thing
better.
about this
Yeah.
too is that we're in a good situation, meaning
Yeah.
that I would say 50% of our sessions are completely sold out
Beautiful.
with this
man.
half capacity.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
For me, I've been there where it's been all about the dollar, right? And I've seen that dollar and I never enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I want to enjoy every moment. I want to
That's
have a
awesome.
solid team behind me. I
Yeah.
want to have people with you know what I mean?
Facts.
And I want to enjoy it. So I'm willing to pivot and take less money.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
But I've also pivoted and found other venues
Yes, man.
to be able to create that equal
100
income,
Yes.
right? And so for us now, you know, we're keeping everything because I feel like we have such a great thing to offer here,
Cool.
and so it's super affordable right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
Right now,
Wait till September hits, and
Yeah.
if we're still limited capacity,
Right.
and if we're still
It's gonna have to.
everything's gonna go jack
100%.
up. But I'll never
100%.
ask my loyal members to pay more.
Yeah.
But everybody else, you better start now.
Yeah.
Because
Well, you
right
know it
now,
is.
Rick, you got a couple slots in the evening, so
Yeah.
you guys better get in there. Reserve that. This way, you're VIP.
Yeah.
True
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
That's
We need
awesome.
to
but
see your
it's
face
It's
now.
a great pivoting point, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of businesses are at least even in Manitoba. Like we're so blessed to have very little cases.
Mhm.
When you talk about Florida getting 5,000
Oh my
cases a day,
gosh.
like
Isn't that crazy?
that's got to
Yeah.
just rock your whole business. Like
Yeah.
they're going through the pain that we went through in March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they've been in pain
Mm-hmm.
since March until now, and it's not getting better.
No.
Can you imagine being put into that situation?
No.
No childcare, no job. You know what I mean? You got 3
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
right? Your oldest is probably a little bit easier than the 2 youngest
Yeah,
ones. They need
exactly.
attention.
Exactly.
Right?
That 14-year-old better be out cutting grass
Yeah,
and making
yeah,
You got it
yeah.
right. You already know the
Doing
drill.
something,
You
yeah.
know the drill.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things too that I think we should touch on is like I saw your social media. You were shooting a video inside Polo Park about your
Yeah.
BOGO, right? That's what it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah, yeah.
Were you always a social media guy? Were you able to put yourself on video and talk? No, that's a skill that I think everybody needs to learn. Like you
Yes.
guys are talking about what we've all done for 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, some of our industries aren't going to exist anymore, but
Right.
now you need to teach.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So you got to
Yeah.
get onto social media. You got to be able to look your phone,
Mhm.
have a podcast or something, and do it. So what inspired you to be a social media guy? When did you put yourself on camera, and why did you do that?
To be honest, like one thing I've done very well is I've learned how to grow brands. And so I was basically doing it for other people.
Mhm.
And somewhere in my heart, I was always like, man, you're going to have to do this if you want to get to where you are. But I've always avoided it
Mhm.
until there was this one time. I think it was, I don't even know. I watched Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, all those guys, right?
Mhm.
Was just talking about like, if you want your product to sell yourself.
Mm.
So
Like you are your brand.
That was
Yeah.
definitely Grant
Yeah.
Cardone.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, exactly.
I know
So-
the graph you're talking about. Okay.
so it was really simple. Like I was like,
Mm.
ah, shit, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so basically, I just dove in.
So what was your first video? Do you remember it?
Probably some shit in my car. Hey guys, yeah.
Not looking at the camera.
I know.
That's the hardest
Funny
part. Is
gig.
that that's why we shut the TV off here, is because a lot of people get distracted at looking at. We've
Yeah,
gotten
yeah.
used to it. I
I
think,
know.
Rick. Like the
I know.
camera's on. Like
No,
we
I
were
like
just
it.
looking
I
down the
like
gun,
it. Yeah,
right? But a
Yeah.
lot of people like try and shoot a video by yourself,
yeah,
Yeah.
looking at yourself,
yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
You know
and
what
you
I
know
mean?
you're
I'm
looking.
looking at my grays.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
oh, what's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on over here?
My teeth are
Oh
they yellow?
shoot! I didn't even know how to zit. You know what I mean?
Totally, man.
That's the
totally.
worst when you shoot a video
Yeah.
and then you realize there was something on your face
Oh,
after,
you're
and it was like,
damn.
Yeah.
I
oh,
know.
it was so good. Oh, delete.
So you've obviously leveled up your game because if you shot a video inside Polo Park with
Yeah.
strangers
Yeah,
walking
that was
by,
good.
you know that's the next
Yeah.
level.
What
of
Yeah.
caught
shooting
my
a video.
attention? That's what
Yeah.
really sparked this.
Yeah.
Was the fact that you got out on social media and you're a good
Yeah.
speaker. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
would you
thanks.
consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm definitely an introvert.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is
Huh.
a lot of people are like, no, I'm too shy for that, and this and blah blah blah. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, like I'm an extrovert. This
Yeah.
guy's an extrovert,
Yeah.
clearly,
Yeah.
right? but I could tell that you're, you know what I mean, because you come in, you got a soft demeanor.
Yeah.
The handshakes are a little bit
Yeah.
lighter. You know what I mean? You can always tell
But
who's.
once he gets
who's
going
the-
on something,
once
he's
he gets
going.
going,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
going. And
Yeah, yeah.
that's basically
100%.
the introvert ways. That
Yeah.
Is
you know,
that how it is?
let me warm up into you a little
Yeah,
bit. Right?
Yeah.
Mary's like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But once you get going, you
Yeah.
get going, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
keep that momentum.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so for everybody out there, you know, just put it out there.
So you
100%,
can't use
100%.
introvert as a reason not to
No,
throw it out
man.
there, right?
No,
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 it's
no.
it's a way for you to be able to talk to other people's, because extroverts love it when they talk to one another, because
Yeah.
they're just
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
even need to hear what we're saying. We
Yeah,
already
just-
know,
yeah.
but we can keep it going. It just
Yeah.
flows like that.
Mhm.
Whereas the introverts often get left out of the
Yeah, it's
conversation.
true. True.
So when an introvert becomes and starts talking,
Yeah.
then introverts listen because they know how to speak to one another.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And so
100%.
that's why more introverts have to get out there.
Yes.
You don't have to classify yourself as an extrovert,
No, no.
right? And I feel like we always have to classify something.
Everything
right?
No,
is.
I'm an
man.
introvert.
I'm a
I'm an
vegan.
extrovert.
I'm a
yeah, vegan.
vegetarian.
It's like, what are you?
Nah.
You're human.
Yeah.
True.
You know what I mean?
Exactly,
We're
man.
all humans.
Simple.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, and that's, you're a perfect example, and I'd love to see some of our introverts. And Jerome and I, we do this thing on Tuesdays where we do like transformational Tuesdays,
Yeah.
and sometimes I forget, and Jerome's here, and I'm like, oh yeah, we got a video. Hey, Kito, can I get you on camera?
Nice.
No. What do you mean no? Come on, it'll be quick,
Yeah,
it'll be
yeah,
easy,
yeah.
la la. Okay. And they're
Yeah.
sitting there like,
Yeah. No, they got
oh,
this.
sweaty.
Something's
yeah.
going right.
Do it,
Yeah.
But then they do it, and then they do it, and they're like this after. Oh, thank you, thanking me.
I
And
know.
I'm like, you just did me a favor. Thank you.
They got little hard nipples,
Yeah.
little boner. They're all excited from
Yeah,
what
yeah,
they just
fucking-
did.
and that's what it takes. Just
Oh,
you know
my
that
goodness.
that's one of the biggest fears and phobias of all time. So
It
outside
is.
of spiders and bugs, public speaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So if you can get out there and do public speaking, that's even bigger than jumping out of an airplane. That's
100%.
even bigger than walking a tightrope. That's
100%.
even bigger than eating cow dung, or you know what I mean,
isn't-
something like that.
And isn't that crazy that we all have access to a phone? We could all
Yeah,
shoot a video
easily.
right now, and yet the majority of the population would never do it. And some
Yeah.
people are
100%.
interesting. I'd love to know whatever you know.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care what you look like. I
I'm-
just want to hear what
I'm
comes in
tired
your
of seeing
brains.
the
You know?
same people
Fun,
on my
yeah.
Instagram stories.
I know.
I know who they are
Yeah.
already. I
Yeah.
know what they're gonna say. I
I
want to
know.
see somebody random pop up and do a story like this.
Yeah.
Just show me the watermelon you're eating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
want to see that.
And that's a big Gary V thing. You know,
Yeah.
like if you watch I like
Yeah.
Gary,
Yeah,
Gary
Gary
V,
V.
and he's all about just being authentic.
Yeah.
So even if you're just stuttering your words and
Yeah.
you don't even know, somebody's gonna dig
Yeah,
your
for
stuttering. You know what I
sure.
mean? Like it's
For
okay.
Be
You don't have
you.
to be polished.
Be you.
Yeah.
Just come and be you.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this then. When you're an athlete, how can you relate that? So our people that are watching are generally in their 30s, a little
Mhm.
bit older, and some of them are going through some hard times with the financial,
Mhm.
right? So how would you recommend somebody that they just don't know when that business is going to open up again, and they're sitting on the CERB check or whatever it is, low income? How can you suggest for them to still live but still not go into financial burden?
You know what? To be honest, it's a hard question, but what I would say based on my own experience and where I'm at right now,
Mhm.
I've been reading this book called The Power of Why,
Okay.
and basically, to be honest, is start with why. Like, what does life mean to you?
Mm.
Like at this point, has
Mm.
your life changed for good
Mhm.
or for bad? And if it's bad, what are you perceiving
Mhm.
as valuable that you've lost? And if it's
Mm.
finances, then you're
Mhm.
saying one thing that you value in your life is finances.
Money.
Mhm.
To be honest, like you were talking about earlier, when you said you had that dollar but you were unhappy, you found that okay, I'm gonna pivot from
Mhm.
not finances, but to things that make me happy and inspired.
Mhm.
That's very powerful because that's one thing that I've learned to do too. And it's so key when you're speaking, especially when you're talking about that in that aspect, that you found yourself more liberated to be actually happier in different settings and create more in other areas that you wouldn't have been able to find if you were stuck on that one mindset that damn, I got to stay in this area unhappy and all these other things.
Mhm.
So to me that's one of the things that if I could explain to anybody is find your value, find what makes you inspired. Like there's a funny thing because like I've been on this new tip, man, and I'm gonna start saying it on my social media. Basically, there's a difference between being motivated and inspired.
Mhm.
Everybody before this has been motivated in terms of, okay, we need to make money to pay our bills.
Mm.
We need to do this to
To
do this.
travel.
Right. We
Right.
need to do this to this.
Mm.
To do this. This whole entire mess up of everything that's happened
Mm-hmm.
has made people realize, damn, what really matters right now? Because no longer can I be motivated on the stuff that made me motivated. What inspires me? You know what I'm saying? And there's a difference because now you have to literally internally figure out what drives you
Yeah.
without having to be pushed.
Yeah.
What pulls you? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Naturally.
Mm.
You know, so to be honest, when it comes to finances, um, do what actually you care about, man. Like if you were at a shitty job, like fuck that shit. Like
Yeah.
don't do that shit no more. Like it's a perfect time
It's
to
8 hours of
you
your
know what I'm
day.
saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Go
Eight
do some
hours,
shit that you
one
actually
third of your
you know
24
what I'm
hours of a
saying, man?
day.
Yeah.
Real
Plus commute.
talk.
And I think
Yeah.
to simplify it even further, it goes back to debt. You
Yeah,
know, just
man.
debt is the killer of humans,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
you know, if you get a cold or if you get something happen, maybe in a car accident, it's a punch in the face.
Mhm.
If you get into debt, it's the death by 1,000 cuts. It lasts
Yeah.
forever, and it just
Mhm.
slowly
Yeah.
takes you down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, to answer your question, the way that I would look at it would be to immediately focus on getting rid of your debt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And remember this: if you have an income, you do not have an income problem. You have a
Yeah.
spending problem,
Yes.
right? So you can make the littlest amount of money.
Write that down, Rick.
Right.
That was a good quote.
Right,
Facts.
you can make the smallest amount of money,
Yeah.
but if you're spending more, you're going to be
Yeah.
in debt. Learn how
Yeah.
to live
100%.
less. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's something that I adopted, I don't know, 5 years ago, a minimalist lifestyle.
Yeah.
Nice.
It all started with a garage sale, and you can ask
Cool.
my wife. We had one every year for 4 years,
Yeah.
to the point now where I've got this
Nothing left.
like I've got this giant house to me,
Yeah.
1,300 square feet is
See?
small to anybody
Nothing
else,
left.
Yeah.
and there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
You know, we
Oh,
have nothing. So like
awesome.
literally, when I move, I will fit everything in my truck
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
one shot,
Yeah.
and then I'm out of there.
Yeah.
No, I
So
think that's key, and you start to realize what, like you said, what you do and what you don't need.
Yeah,
And
man.
and I talked to a lot of people, and I said, "Well, what did you learn from COVID?"
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with one of my neighbors, and she's a lawyer. Prior to this, you would never see her out. I
Yeah.
see her running today, this morning.
Nice.
You would never see her out, and she'd be like, I get home at like midnight, and I work until 2, and then I get up and I do it again, and she
I
can't
know.
even talk to
Just
me.
like it makes you
Yeah.
stressed.
Yeah,
It
you're like,
gives you-
God, slow down a
All
little
right,
bit,
stop.
And then so I spoke to
Right.
her the other day, and she's like, you
Jeez.
know what? She's like, I don't want to go back to the office.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't, she's like, it's all about the family. She's like, I
Yeah.
don't want to homeschool,
Right.
but she says it's all about the family now.
Mhm.
She's like, I don't want to wear high heels and a dress. She's like,
Yeah, man.
I just want to get up, do my thing, do my work, and then spend the rest of my
Mhm.
day with my family or
Mhm.
whatever it is that I want to
100%.
do.
Yeah.
And so I think that's huge. For me, I always struggle through, like, so for instance, I went and bought some new gear. I'm
Nice.
coaching all the time. I'm like,
Nice.
I can't keep washing my clothes every day. I've got 2 pairs
Yeah.
of shorts because I made them like I like just purge, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other day I bought stuff, but it took it. I've been coaching for how long now? For this since COVID, so March
Nice.
every day,
Nice.
and I haven't bought anything new for myself.
Yeah.
And now
Well, that
I'm
makes
like,
sense. So that's your work uniform.
and
That's
now it's
nothing
my
wrong
work
with
for
that,
you.
yeah.
But I waited. I grinded it out, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, RJ, you can get this. And
Nice.
it was like my shorts were like $12.
Nice.
You know
I
what I mean?
know.
And I'm like, yeah, man, I got
Yeah.
some new
Wear them
shorts.
shits.
But
yeah.
I think what happens is people are looking for little bouts of highs from
Mhm.
just purchases,
Of course.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like going on a trip, right? Like,
Mhm.
I went to Mexico, like I got this big Mexico thing, and now I don't think anybody's traveling. So it's like
No.
Yeah.
reshuttle that money.
100%.
Like Jerome was supposed to go to the Philippines, and I'm like, man, that's a 30K trip, easy.
100%.
So take that 30K, shuttle it somewhere.
Right.
So shuttle it. Maybe don't. I don't know about saving.
Yeah.
Save most of it.
Right.
Invest some of it.
Invest. Always
Yeah.
But
invest
then,
some of
like,
it.
what
Yeah.
else
Yeah.
can you do with it that's going to bring you maybe a little bit longer lasting joy,
Right.
Because right now, I think that everybody's got some money saved up. Unless
Yeah.
you've been on Amazon and you know what I mean?
Which a lot of
a
people
lot of
have.
people
Yeah.
are.
The
on-
stocks of UPS
No, I'm-
have gone through
Yeah,
the roof.
I'm in-
FedEx.
I'm in
Everybody's a
Bitcoin
driver
right
now.
now. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, take that money, shuttle it into something a little bit different this time around.
Yeah.
Do something different. If you want to avoid a midlife crisis, now's your time
Real
to
talk.
just pivot and just try something.
Facts.
Nobody's judging you.
No.
Nobody cares if you want to
Yeah.
go and serve
It's a
burgers,
perfect
man.
time
You
to
want to
fail.
go. You want to
This
go
is
work
actually
at
the
Tim Hortons.
Perfect time to
Yeah.
fail.
Like, listen, if you were a
Real
high
talk.
powered person in a
For
building,
real, man.
and you're just like, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm done with
Mhm.
giving orders.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to just sit back and be a teammate.
Mhm.
That's
You
why I
got
like
it.
this podcast. I just sit back and Rick's like, so what do we got on this guy? I'm like, I don't know, Rick, man. I was really banking
Just
on you
go.
to come up with something, right? I want to come and
Cool.
just be.
Right.
I like being
100
present now,
100%,
right?
man.
Yeah.
And so
That's
it's
cool.
not a
That's
wrong
cool,
thing
man.
to take a
No,
backseat sometimes,
100%.
Yeah.
right?
100%.
Yeah.
So we're almost at the end of the podcast,
Mhm.
but since you guys, I get 2 dads, all
Mhm.
boys, right?
Yeah.
All boys. What do you? What kind of things are you going to instill in your boys moving forward? It doesn't have to be everything, but what are the kind of a couple things that you want to make sure that no matter what they do this or they don't do that?
I think it's just leadership qualities,
Mm.
learning how to treat people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
Respect.
yeah, respect, you know what I'm saying? And
It's
then
huge.
also like just getting involved in team sports, allowing them to understand how to cooperate with people, talk to people.
Yeah.
I think sports brings a lot of different things to kids that just develops them in real life,
Yeah.
you know, and it's pretty funny. Like the guys who do health and fitness understand that stress is part of the process. Where you know some people stress for no apparent reason,
Mm.
and their tolerance for stress is a lot less
Yeah.
than our types of stress
Yeah.
because we kind of embrace the
Yeah.
uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and to be honest, I think that type of preparation for your body and your mind actually allows you to excel in situations like the pandemic. To be honest, it's like
Mhm.
we're sharp thinkers, and it's not like, oh my gosh, the world is falling down. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, how do we pivot? How do
Yeah,
we
man.
make moves?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to me, that's one of the things that definitely starting like my little 4-year-old was talking to my oldest when they were playing video games, and my oldest one was like, okay, we're about to just like stop playing the game because I guess the board is hard, and my 4-year-old was like, we're athletes in this family. We don't quit.
Oh yeah.
Straight up.
Nice.
I love that.
I would love
so,
to hear a kid
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
that.
You gotta get that on camera. You gotta get
so
that
it was
camera.
like, yeah, like it was like a proud dad moment. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a
Can you get him to
yeah.
say that? Put on your stories.
Yeah.
Straight
That would
up.
be
Please.
so good,
I
man.
know it
Please.
came out of random to be
Yeah. No.
honest.
You
Like I
can't.
wasn't
You can't. You
expecting
can't
it.
force
Yeah.
that.
Just
Yeah.
be like, listen,
Yeah.
kid, I need you to naturally say what you said
No.
before.
Yeah.
Just pretend you never said it yet,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, Go ahead.
I think for my kids, one thing that I'm most proud of is the connection that I create amongst people. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And that's what we are here. We call each other the Fit Fam. It's part of
Yes.
our model is that we create a family-like community.
Nice.
And so for me, I would love, and I love that he does it already, is that he's a people magnet,
Nice.
right? So I want him to be and go into all groups. You know
Yes.
what I mean? I never liked cliques. I never liked being labeled. I
100%.
never liked being being an outcast. I've been an outcast and I've
Mhm.
been the insider,
Mhm.
and I didn't like either or.
100%.
So for him, I want him to for sure be that similar person.
Dope.
Number two, I, d- I don't want him to be as bossy. So when
Yeah.
he's bossy to me and my
Yeah.
wife and his little brother, I'm like, okay, it's coming from me
Yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah.
right? So I want him to be less bossy,
Yeah.
a little bit more giving, and he
Mhm.
is. I see that too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then number three is respect, right? So
Cool.
we talked about
Mhm.
that. Is that doesn't matter if they're young, the same age, or older than you. You
Mhm.
show each person the same amount of
100%.
respect.
100%.
And so I think that's like he calls him. Where's Uncle Rick?
Nice.
You know
Yeah.
Nice.
what I mean? He was worried about Uncle Rick when we were
Yeah.
biking the other day.
Nice.
Where's Uncle Rick?
Nice.
He was all worried, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's exactly what I want. I
Yeah.
want you to look out for everybody. I don't care
Mhm.
what it takes. You
100%.
know
Yeah.
what I mean? You
100%.
sacrifice whatever it is. If that's your last ice cream, you
Yeah.
give it up.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
that's what I like.
That's dope.
Very profound conversation, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
How do we find you on social media?
You can just find me at Kito Poblah on Instagram.
KITO.
Yeah,
Okay.
KITOPOBLAH on
Yeah.
Hmm.
Instagram. On Twitter, K_Poblah. And yeah, follow the at Manitoba Supports campaign. That's gonna be really, really something special we're cooking up. So
You'll keep us up to date with that.
yeah, for
Yeah.
And
sure.
you got the BOGO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real
When's
quick,
yeah
finish up with that.
yeah.
What do we need to know about
Yeah,
that?
so to be honest, with the whole entire pandemic that's happened, we've basically pivoted a lot of our lessons that we've learned with the Manitoba Selects in terms of fundraising and sponsorship to be able to provide local business, local community centers, and local sports teams the opportunity to share resources. And the way we've done that is by creating a coupon book that's going to allow local businesses to advertise and promote. It's totally free.
Mm.
We do all the promotions, we do all the advertising, and what we plan on doing with the coupon book is then allowing local community centers and local sports teams to fundraise from those coupon books so they can actually recoup some lost funds from the pandemic and all
Love it.
that situations.
Cool.
Mhm.
And we want to showcase local business giving it back to the community.
Mm.
And in terms of marketing stuff, I really believe that if you really want to build a friend, you have to show good faith. And
Mhm.
so for us, it's really just about building a network within our scope. And like we talked about family, our slogan for Manitoba Supports is where friends become family.
Hmm.
So we're basically just gathering all of our resources together between local businesses, local community centers, local sports teams, and and then showcasing the initiatives and basically putting Manitoba on the map in terms of how we strategically can all benefit from each other by doing it the right way.
Nice.
Good. So whatever you need from us here at Fit Club, just let me know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep us
We got
posted.
you.
All right, guys. So speaking of which, make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video with as many people as possible. Let's get that message out there for Kito. And you can also go to our YouTube channel under Fit Club Media and feel free to subscribe to the channel. Gentlemen, we're done. Let's dance it up.
Yeah.
Good one, guys. That was good.
Yeah.